Kurisu lowers her gaze and cups her chin, as she often does when assessing a problem.
これまでは何事もなく成功してたかもしれないけど、繰り返し使うことでどんな影響が出るかもわからない。もしかしたら時間の輪、つまり因果率から外れるかもしれない。あんたはそんな危険を冒してるの。そのことを自覚して。
因果率から外れるとは。
SF 小説によくあるでしょ。閉じた時間の輪の中で永遠にさまよい続けるってこと。永久に年は取らないけど、永久に同じ日からは出られなくなる。最悪の場合、なかったことにされる可能性だってある。
What?
存在の抹消。あんたの18年だか19年だかの人生の痕跡すべてをあらゆる人間が最初から知らなかったことにされるかも。時間を飛び越えることはそれだけ危険なのよ。
人間は根源的に時間的存在者である。
Kurisu looks surprised.
ハイデガーね。私も今その言葉を言おうと思ってた。
お前から教わった言葉だ。
いつ？
俺はもう何度もタイムリープしている。
あ、なるほど。
Kurisu squats next to me, thinking deeply. Now, he has an interesting question here when it comes to what we're experiencing right over here with time looping. Is this a case where I've experienced the same amount of loops as Rintaro up until this point? Or am I gonna find out that at some point, up until this point right here, Rintaro has gone through like more time loops, like maybe 10 more time loops that I'm not even aware of. Because that would be something.
あんたの話が本当だったとして、マユリを助けたい気持ちは私だって同じよ。でもタイムリープマシン制作に関わった人間の一人として、あれを何度も使うことは勧められない。あんたはそれでももがく。
俺は
You're gonna tell us to let Mayuri die? I can't do it alone. I know that now.
だからお前に助けを求めたんだ。もがくために、マユリを助けるために。俺一人じゃダメだったが、クリスの協力があれば何とかできるかもしれない。できると信じたい。力を貸してくれ。
Kurisu sighs.
無茶しやがって、バカ。あんた壊れててもおかしくなかったんだからね。
Incredibly, she sounds concerned about me. She looks at me for a moment, then turns away as if embarrassed.
協力はする。ただしあんたのために協力するわけじゃないから。全部マユリのためよ。
ああ、当たり前だ。
それにあんたを被験者にすればいいデータが取れそうだし。
それはつまりセルンの人体実験を肯定するということか。
Sure that after we somehow solve this, Rintaro is gonna have plenty of stuff to talk to you about these time loops that he went so far.
全然違う。
どこが？
被験者が岡部っていうところが。マッドサイエンティストとしては自分自身も平気で実験台にするんでしょ。何せマッドだし。
そうだな。
I'm no longer afraid to time leap. I'll do anything to save Mayuri.
冗談よ。本気にするな。
Kurisu stands up and looks at her watch.
さて、 もうあまり時間もないから、これからあたふたするよりもっとじっくり対策を練った方がいい。
つまり
今からもっと前の時間に飛んでおく。そこで改めて私に事情を説明して。
Okay. And how much in the past should we go? By your recommendation. Karisa's right. My actions so far have been almost entirely random. And look where that's gotten me. I need a real plan if I'm going to save Mayuri.
行こう。
Karisa stretches out her hand. I grasp it and pull myself up. Mayuri and Daru are already back when we return to the lab. Suzuha is there too. To get rid of them, Karisa and I explained that we forgot to do the shopping. So could they please take care of it for us? I have to cough off the money to convince them to go, but it works. Well, it is a good thing that money resets.
マユリ本人はともかく、橋田にも話さないの？
必要になったら話す。
For now, it's not, and I don't have time to explain. While Karisa sets up the machine, I head downstairs to the brown tube workshop, kick the door open, and turn on the 42-inch CRT. That went more smoothly than I anticipated. It's highly illegal, of course, but I'll leap long before the cops get here. Karisa looks shocked when I return to the lab.
住居侵入罪で逮捕されるわよ。
As far as this timeline's future Rintaro is concerned about, but I don't think that we have much to concern ourselves with ourselves.
どうせ過去に戻れば今のはなかったことになる。
Karisu hands me the headgear and I put it on.
そっか。あんたの主観じゃそうなるわけだ。私の主観だとどうなるんだろう。あんたが飛んだ後、ここはどうなる？
そのデータもすぐに取れる。
The same thing, unfortunately. So, like, yeah, that is an interesting question that is not brought up that much. Like, if we have to go with the idea that, like, if we're going with Rintaro's, in this case, personality being transferred to another Rintaro, who we're gonna follow, this timeline is not gonna change much. So from Karisu's perspective, nothing's gonna change. You're helping out Rintaro of a different timeline, so... But what about the body I leave behind? If time is a straight line, then it's likely that the present will be reconstructed based on my actions of the past. But if the many worlds interpretation holds, then after I leave, this world will continue on as if nothing happened. I used to be so fascinated by the structure of the universe, but now I don't really care. All that matters is saving Mayuri. Kurisu's fingers stopped typing on the keyboard.
どうした？
うん。考えたら思考がループしちゃってた。
Cause it almost looks like unfair from anybody else's perspective other than Rintaro, because Rintaro is the only one who may benefit from a better future. But these kids, like, they're gonna go through the same disaster no matter what. So you're technically helping Rintaro without helping yourself in this case.
D メールのような状態になるかもしれない。
The instant we send the email, the present changes around us. Thanks to reading Steiner, only I remember what it was like before the change. I mean... it's because I always went with the many worlds interpretation, but... Maybe there is the possibility that instead we are reconstructing the same timeline. in that sense, this you Kurisu are going to be the same Kurisu, and in that case, I guess looking at it like that, you are helping everybody else and not just Rintaro into a different role line. So I don't know.
その方が楽だけど悔しくもある。
データを観測できないからか？
そういうこと。
Kurisu nods and begins tinkering at the settings again.
転送先は5時間前にしておいた。つまり午後1時40分くらい。覚えてる？私がタイムリープマシーンを完成させたのは2時過ぎだった。
Oh. Barely. For Kurisu, that happened only 5 hours ago. For me, it feels like weeks. Christ. You know what, that's a good point. I mean, we only have like the time leap machine for only a few hours. So we cannot just go past like a week ago and then decide, oh wait, maybe you should use the time leap machine one more time for like 2 weeks in the past. No, we gotta wait another year until we reconstruct the time leap machine again and then use it. Maybe it has been weeks. So in that sense, yeah.
時間にルーズな男は嫌われる。感謝しなさいよ。私は時計をよく見る癖があって、何時に何があったかは結構覚えてるの。
Kurisu finishes typing and turns to face me.
いい、岡部。タイムリープマシンを使うなら、これだけは覚えておいて。携帯電話は絶対に手放さないこと。それはあんたの生命線、局所場指定のマーカーなの。
Yeah, truly.
それさえ持ち続けていれば、どの時間へも跳躍はできる。
In that sense, I guess it is also important for the Rintaro of the past that we time leap to. In that sense, yeah, I guess it is a good thing that Rintaro has always kept his phone with him, like no matter what. And he didn't lose it or give it to somebody or something like that. In that sense, we gotta keep it. We gotta keep that in mind for future.
でももし手放してしまって誰かに使われたら。
And then if I live to that time, my memories could overwrite theirs. I don't want to imagine what might happen next.
あるいは充電が切れたり壊されたりしたら。
And then I won't be able to leap to that time. Oh, fuck. You know what? That's a good point. Hold on. No, not that. If it breaks or the battery dies. So you really have to make sure that, well, luckily up to this point, Rintaro never broke the phone. But what if we had like a time, like at some point in the past, weeks or something like that, Rintaro, like his phone died at some point because of lack of battery, so he had to recharge it. So if we pick the wrong time in the time leap machine to a point where the phone's battery died before Rintaro decided to recharge it, that's not good. His personality is gonna go into the void or something like that. So you really have to make sure that you never ever let your phone break, but more importantly, never let your phone's battery die, like completely. You always have to keep it charged. If it breaks, then I can get a new phone with the same number. But there will still be a period of time to which I can never leap.
タイムリープは成功しない。
Yeah, that's true.
だから絶対に携帯を手放しちゃダメ。
At least we can replace it in case it breaks or something like that.
了解だ。
今日の昼間にタイムリープしたら2時に私がマシンを完成させるまではあんたは特別なことはしてはいけない。
I mean, thank the Lord that while we were running from CERN or we jumped over the railing and got hit with a car or something like that, the phone just didn't fall off and we lost it in the meantime. That would have sucked. Alright. I actually took a little bit of a break there. This is a completely different day after that little cut. And now I'm eating some ice cream and grab a few Pringles here and there while doing this. It is summertime, which means another year where I have to trudge through read-throughs with the heat right over here. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna complain, but at the same time, I'm just gonna eat my ice cream right over here.
これが完成しないと、きっとこの時間までの流れが大きく変わってしまう。完成したらすぐに実験はしないって宣言して全員解散させて。それから私に声をかけてくれればいい。未来から来たって言われれば多分私は信じる。
なんでわかる？
私のことは私が一番よく知ってる。
Lisa grins faintly and stands up after she's done typing. You are a sweetheart, that's for sure.
そもそも電話レンジを改良してタイムリープマシンを作ったのは私なのだぜ。
Mad skills? Really?
さっきあんたからタイムリープしてきたって言われた時は自分の理論は間違ってなかったって思えた。成功してよかったって思えた。何の疑問もなくね。
I see.
念のためにキーワードを決めておきましょう。私の今一番欲しいものはマイフォークである。
に？
あ、いや、別に意味なんてないからな。
マイフォークが欲しいのか？
Is that another thing that you pick up from ad channel?
マイスプーンはもう持ってるからって、そこに興味持つな。はいはい、準備できた。いつでも行ける。
I nod and call up the phone wave, necessary to change. Alrighty then, let's go.
気をつけて。私はいつだってあんたの味方よ。
Kurisu touches my shoulder and then steps away. I lie back on the sofa with my phone in my hand. Needles in my brain. A whining in my ears. These sensations never get any easier to endure. I look at the clock. It's about 1:45. There's a high school baseball game on TV. In about 15 minutes, Kurisu will finish the time leap machine. All he needs are some final adjustments, so there's nothing for me to do but wait. How weird it feels to wait in order to make your next move, in order to get out of this chaotic time loop. Nothing to do but wait. How would you feel during these kinds of situations? It's not when you're in a state of panic and you have to act and all that I'm interested in. I'm interested in these kinds of moments, when it's completely silent. The silence before the storm. As the pain in my brain subsides, I realize that my head is throbbing. Well, I know what I'm doing during these moments of silence, eating my ice cream. Oh my god. Like the ice cream is melting like so much when I took an extra gulp, like an extra bite out of it. I took a lot more than I thought I would. Because you would think that you would be so, like the ice cream would be so cold, you would be able to take a little bit of it at a time, but because it's melting, I took a lot more out of it, and my We're starting to get a little bit of a pain there for a split second. Why? Oh, I remember. Right before this, I had an argument with Mr. Braun in which he introduced his fist to my skull. Mayuri is at her sewing machine, working on her costume. Daru is at his computer, collecting moe artwork from the internet. Collecting. Kurisu is in the velvet room, upgrading the time leap machine. I sit motionless as the minutes tick by. Suddenly, the sound of the sewing machine stops. What is it, young one? Mayuri shows me her costume.
これをね、持っててくれないかな。こうしてピローンって広げて。
まゆし、今のビローンもう一度。
ピロ
ビローンいただきました。
もうやだこの変態。
I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves.
ありがとう。
Mayuri looks a little tired. She was working on this costume all night. But then she smiles, brighter than the sun.
できた。
I said something here, didn't I? What was it? I cannot remember.
クリスちゃんより先にできたよ。競争してたんだ。
負けたわ、まゆり。お見事ね。でも、こっちももう終わりよ。
And done with my ice cream. Nice. Kurisu finishes connecting the two cores she's holding.
完成。
Alright, that's my cue.
実験はしない。
Crap. Was that too soon?
いきなり全否定とか。私が何のために苦労して作ったと思ってんのよ。
Cut! Rintaro, my boy. You gotta follow the script. Follow the script.
タイムリープには問題が山積みだ。その点についてじっくり検証したい。
あんたにしてはまともな意見だな。
何が問題なのかな。完成したんじゃないの。
詳しくは後日説明する。今日はみんな疲れているだろうから解散にしよ
う。完成祝いにちょっとでもパーッとやったりしないの？
それも後日だ。
I managed to convince Daru and Mayuri to leave. I lent Mayuri my phone charger, since we use the same brand of phone. Good move there, good move. Fine, Yuri, charge your goddamn phone. Kurisu tries to go home too, but I quietly keep her back.
何？
不満か？
ええ。
Probably because I shot her down right after she finished the timing machine. Not even 1 second for her to present her most successful experiment in her entire life. Not 1 single second for her to feel proud in front of her friends. Sorry, Kurisu. She'll feel relief later, but only after she has time to fully consider its implications.
俺は5時間後から来た。
何の冗談？
Her narrowed eyes make me believe that looks can kill.
睨むな。お前言っていることが全然違うではないか。何が未来から来たと言われれば多分信じるだ。
は？何そのバカっぽいセリフ。
5時間後のお前が言ったんだぞ。
捏造しないで。私が 多分信じるみたいな論理性皆無の発言するわけないでしょ。
Oh, Rintaro. Such a noob of the time loops shenanigans. But you'll get the hang of it. I'd like to have a word with future Kurisu. Is this how you're going to be? Then you leave me no choice but to quote you word for word?
タイムリープが成功したことを聞かされたお前は何の疑問もなく自分の理論は間違ってなかったって思えた、成功してよかったって思えたとも言った。そもそも電話レンジを改良してタイムリープマシンを作ったのは私なのだぜ。
私はそんなのだぜみたいな話し方しない。
お前が今一番欲しいものはマイフォークである。
Kurisu's face suddenly turns red.
マイスプーンはすでに持っているそうだな。
そんなことまで話したのか。恨むぞ、5時間後の私。
I mean, I don't think that's even possible, but he is genuinely shocked for some reason, but I'm pretty sure she believes me now. I mean, the only way that you can kill your future self is to kill, well,
心の中を覗き見されたような気分よ。しかもよりによって岡部にと。
I mean, let's not forget that Kurisu as well could become a victim of death, like more than we saw at the beginning. We only saw her die once, and we still don't know what the fuck is to do with that. What does she think I'm going to do?
でもあんたの言うこと信じて良さそうね。詳しく聞かせて。
I explained everything to Kurisu again. I'm able to organize my thoughts better since this is my second time.
なるほどね。あんたの言うことが事実ならかなりまずい状況だな。
There are 5 hours until Mayuri's death. We need to come up with a plan before then.
5時間後の私は時間順序保護仮説かもって言ってたらしいけど、それともちょっと違う気がする。
Chronology protection conjecture. I get the thing that we got that before, but I don't know. Yeah, chronology protection conjecture. Proposal that states that time travel is impossible. Any attempt to travel through time will be prevented by quantum effects. Successful time requires infinity field energy, which is impossible to obtain. Okay. I guess that's what it is.
あの仮説は因果率が狂う恐れがあるからタイムトラベルの可能性は量子論により否定されるっていうものよ。でもタイムリープの場合タイムパラドックスはそもそも起きない。
Two of me don't exist at the same time, and I can't bring anything with me to the past. All that changes are the memories stored in my temporal lobe. So at the very least, time leaping can cause a grandfather paradox.
やはり世界の意志だ。宇宙そのものが検閲をするかのように俺が歪ませた地上の修正を行っているとしか思えない。
だとしたらタイムリープじゃマユリは救えないっていうことになる。何をしたって修正されちゃうんだから。
The exact sentence right over there, like the universe is trying to censor you, is wild. Reading that. The universe is trying to cancel you, Rintaro, for what you did to Lukako.
そんなのは認めない。
同意するわ。世界の意思説は非現実的すぎる。私は支持したくない。
多世界解釈ならどうだ。マユリが死なない可能性を観測できれば解決だ。
多世界解釈か。マユリの死に方がいつも違うっていうのは関係あるのかな。でも重ね合わせ状態になっているいくつもの可能性世界は相互観測が不可能なのに、あんたはどうして観測できてるの？
Reading Steiner.
それは
Fuck if I know.
この俺の特殊能力であるリーディングシュタイナーが
I mean, you know what? That is a good point. I mean, we are talking about the possibility that maybe there are some moments that are fated to happen no matter what. But the means for that to happen keep changing like each time. It's not as if we're talking about a fixed timeline where no matter what we do in the past, this will happen no matter what. It's as if we are combining like many worlds interpretation where anything can happen depending on the changes we make, and we just cross from one roll line to another. And yet Mayuri's death is the one constant that needs to happen, even if it happens in different ways. Now, I mean, there's also, like, either the universe or something is really working their hands on managing that in the first place, with like 100% certainty that it will always happen, or we were just unlucky as fuck up until this point. And who knows, maybe this is gonna be the one time where Mayuri is not gonna die. It just so happens that all of those timelines, those world lines that we've been through, had Mayuri die. A pure cosmic coincidence.
ダメだこいつ。早くなんとかしないと。
他に説明のしようがない。
I am as confused as everybody else.
特殊能力ってあんたね、もしかしてそれ本気で言ってたのか？
ふざけているつもりはないぞ。
Now I'm done with the Pringles. I'm done eating right now. So, our demo experiments prove that I can somehow perceive changes in the timeline when they occur. It's an ability only I seem to possess.
特殊能力だかなんだか知らないけど、そんな不確定的なものを頼る気にはなれない。だいたいどの可能性を観測するかを制御しようがないんだから、多世界解釈だろうがなんだろうが、マユリが死なない可能性に至るのは無理よ。
待て、これでは話が進まないではないか。解釈の話はいいから、俺たちにできることを考えるべきだ。
I mean, the idea of experimenting with emails, even if it sounds kind of, yeah, we can try. If us using the time leap machine to go into the past leads to the same outcome, maybe it is us sending an email that could change it. Cause sending emails and us doing time leaps are a bit different from one another. So, I don't even... Like, what is the difference between the two that solves the problem of whether Mayuri dies or not? But then again, you know, it's kind of weird thinking about this because up until we started using the time leap machine, we leapt from one world line to another, and each world line had like a number. But now we just don't even... I don't even know what number we are on. Are we actually on the same... So... Like, I'm thinking of this. Maybe there is a combination of both mentalities going on right over here. Whenever we use the D-mail to change the past, we would fling ourselves into different roll lines, different timelines, and thus the number would change. But, however, since we don't really see that number change in this, despite many changes here and there that would make these timelines different from one another in similar fashion to when we send the D-mails, yet we have never seen like any number change. So that would make you think that we are in the same roll line. So would it be that in this case, when we do the time leap machine, we just throw the many worlds interpretation out the window and instead we go with the with the one sacred timeline that we just keep changing like over and over. So I guess we just, instead of doing timely machine, yeah, maybe we should send a D-mail, and thus we would jump into a different world line, and maybe there we could have like a fate where Mayuri doesn't die, maybe. So in conclusion, when we send a D-mail, we use the many worlds interpretation, but when we use the timely machine, we use the one sacred timeline that we change constantly. Like, we reorganize the same timeline over and over.
タイムリープじゃ結果は変えられない。さっきそう言った。
じゃあどうするんだ。
落ち着け。
落ち着いていられるか。俺が一体何度マユリの死を目の当たりにしたと思ってるんだ。あいつが無残に血を流して生き絶えていくのを俺は目の前で何度も見ていたんだ。何度も。
If I were Karisu right over here, I would just grab Rintaro by both his shoulders, and then I would slap him in the face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and then he should calm down.
見ていることしかできなかったんだ。
I hear my teeth grinding in my skull. Recalling that despair, that feeling of utter powerlessness, makes me want to lash out at everything within reach.
感情に身を任せてたって何も解決しない。
当事者じゃないからそんなに冷静でいられるんだろう。
そうね。私には5時間後のことはわからない。正直なところ実感が湧かない。でもあんたの言ってることを信じてないわけじゃない。岡部がしっかりしなきゃ。
Karisu pats my arm. Her hand is warm and her touch is gentle. Oh, American of her.
悪かった。
She's right. Getting emotional won't solve anything. I need to calm down. Calm down.
そもそも原因が違うのに必ず同じ結果に至るというのが解せない。
Yeah.
因果が歪んでいるとしか思えない。
マユリの死の原因は桐生萌香が発砲するじゃなくて、もっとマクロなことなんじゃない？タイムマシンを作ったことか、あるいはセルンにハッキングしたことがバレたことあたりね。その結果としてマユリが死ぬ。そう考えるなら因果は歪んでないって言える。
苗に背中を押されて電車にひかれるのもそれで説明できるのか。
あ、そっか。でも因果率は絶対のルールなのよ。それを否定したら全ての物理学も否定されてしまう。だから必ずマユリが死ぬのには原因がある。
I mean, hear me out. It's a little bit of a stretch. Like, for now, I agree that Nai has nothing to do with CERN or anything like that that would lead to Mayuri's death, but maybe it's a bit of a stretch, but hear me out. What if, like, let's think of Nai like in the middle of the train station with like a big crowd and all that. Suddenly there is this weird old guy that touches her shoulder and is being all creepy. Is like, "Hey, do you want some candy, little girl?" And then Naya is gonna run away a little bit from that creepy dude. But then suddenly she notices Mayuri. In all the excitement of actually greeting Mayuri, but also running away from that stranger to Mayuri's Mayuri's embrace to protect her. In all that excitement, Naya accidentally pushes Mayuri on the train station. Why am I thinking of that possibility? Because maybe that creepy old man is actually part of CERN. That's the only option that I have that would connect it to CERN. Again, why CERN Like, if that were something to be the case, why would CERN go to that kind of extreme? Because, okay, I get it, like, it's not too far-fetched to think that, oh, CERN would disguise themselves as a police to catch Mayuri or Rintaro, or they would go inside the taxi cab to kill Mayuri and capture Rintaro or something like that. But the option that I presented myself,
その原因さえわかるならなんとかなるかも。
そうでもない。
どういうことだ。
その原因となる出来事がいつ起こったというのが問題になってくる。あまり時間が経っているようだと対処できないわ。
タイムリープマシンがあるから、携帯電話を持っている時代の範囲内ならどこへでも戻れるはずだろう。
戻れない。予測だけど、タイムリープマシンは一度に最長で48時間しか跳躍できないと思う。
48 hours. I can only go back 2 days?
なぜ今さらそんなことを。
今さらってタイムリープマシンが完成したのはついさっきじゃない。
Yeah. I mean, hear me out, Rintaro. If we are having a problem, and maybe we're gonna need a timely machine like much earlier, like later down the road, you could constantly go with the 2-day max range for the timely machine. Go back in time like 2 days in the past and try and see if you and Kurisu would be able to finish the timely machine earlier, let's say like a day earlier, and then you would use the timely machine again and then keep repeating that over and over and over, and that way you would be able to use the timely machine, for example, like 1 week ago, or maybe 2. Maybe there's like some detail right over there that would make it impossible for us to create the timely machine that early, but that could be like one thing if we need more time than that. That's true.
5時間後のお前も言わなかった。
あ、そういうことか。言い出すタイミングがなかったのかも。
で、48時間しか飛べない理由は？
わからない。私もマシンのすべての原理や構造を理解して作ったわけじゃないから。連続での跳躍は可能よ。タイムリープマシンが存在している限りね。例えば10年後までタイムリープマシンが壊れずに残っていたのなら、10年の時間を遡ってくることはできる。単純計算で1825回タイムリープする必要があるから、かなりのリスクになりそうだけど、とにかく理論上は可能なの。
だったら何も問題は？
大あり。言ったでしょ、タイムリープマシンが存在している限りって。
1825. Instead of one giant leap through 10 years, we have to do like little bunny hops in time in the past for that. How ineffective.
あのマシンはいつ完成した？
あ、
そう、ほんの1時間前。2010年8月13日の午後2時ぐらい。それ以前には存在していない。マシンを使うのは今日の2時以降じゃないと不可能なのよ。
つまり過去方向へは
Count 48 hours back.
8月11日の14時までしか行けないと。
Yeah, true. Unless, again, I offer you the possibility that we could make it so that we can create the timely machine faster and create like a bigger range of time that we can time leap. Kurisu nods, her expression grave.
おそらく
改良できないのか？
将来的にできるかもしれないけど、今のこの状況じゃ無理。 もっときちんとした設備のあるところでお金をたくさん使ってきちんとしたパーツを使えばなんとかなるかもしれないけど。
Yeah. And we keep spending all that money on like parties and such.
それをやろうとしてもどうせセルンに潰されると思う。未来の私かあんたが未だにタイムリープしてきていないという回で証明終了かな。
So basically...
結局何もできないということではないか。タイムリープマシンがあっても5時間後にマユリがセルに殺される運命は結局避けられないのかよ。
At that moment, I hear a sound from outside the window. Did somebody climb the window? What? Is it Moeka? Did she overhear us? I dash to the window and look down at the street. It's Suzuha. Oh, Suzuha, don't scare us like that. What the fuck? Her bicycle has fallen over, and she's scurrying to pick it up. Oh, okay. I thought that somebody just... like, either somebody climbed the window and just banged on the window, or somebody threw rocks at us. Our eyes meet. Why does she look so pale? Oh, fuck. She listened on us, I guess. Her lips move slightly. It looks like she's whispering something, but I can't make it out from here.
What?
This is we don't have time for cat and mouse kind of stuff right now. We need your help. But she leaps on her bike and zips away. She's acting strange. It smells conspiracy. Moeka was a spy. Could Suzuha be the same? It's too dangerous to trust anyone. Suzuha has exhibited suspicious behavior, though not as much as Moeka has. She's only hostile towards Kurisu. She was able to take down CERN's hit squad single-handedly. It's a three-way war right over here between these girls, like Kurisu, Moeka, and Suzuha. Jesus. I wonder if this missing father of hers really exists. Could he be the John Tyler who's been posting on the internet? She said that it wasn't. What is the meaning of the barrel? Of the name Barrel Tyler? Barrel. Barrel. The instinct tells me that she knows something. I dash out of the lab.
ちょっとどこ行くの？
I know I don't have much chance of catching her on foot, but I have to try. There's something going on here. This is a completely new sequence of events. According to my memories of the future, Suzuha is supposed to remain at the Brown Tube workshop until 6:30 this evening. But when she overheard me talking to Kurisu, she suddenly took off like a bat out of hell. This has to mean something. Suzuha was already out of sight, but when she left, she was headed for Chuodori. I wonder if her phone's on. Maybe I should just try calling her. Come to think of it, this reminds me of something. On the day she failed to meet her father, she disappeared without a word. Just an email saying bye. I searched the town, but I couldn't find her. So I sent a email that changed the past in order to make her stay. I'm pretty sure I lost her near the station back then. What happened to her timeline? Where did Suzuha go after failing to find her father? I search up and down Chuodori, but find no trace of Suzuha or her bike. I have to be careful. There could already be rounders here in Akiba. I comb the area around the station's main exit, but there's no sign of her anywhere. I lost sight of her here before, so I thought she might be close by. Maybe I should corner her on my next time leap. Press her for answers before she can escape. I better go back to the lab. I start walking away from the station, but just then, the people around me gasp and point. Everyone's looking up at the sky. No, not the sky. The satellite embedded in the roof of Vatican. Why now? It's been there for 2 weeks. It's probably a landmark now. But everyone looks like they're seeing it for the first time. So I turn and look up too. The lights on the satellite are blinking. Is it suddenly gonna disappear? Is someone inside? Who?
天音鈴葉それとも桐生萌香か
Oh my god. That must be where Suzuha is. that isn't a time machine, like an alternate, bigger time machine, the way I thought of it. It's a spaceship! Suzuha is an alien! The satellite has remained silent through all of my previous time leaps. What has changed? Obviously, the fact that Suzuha overheard my conversation with Kurisu. Previously, I lost sight of her at the station. In other words, right next to Radican. Suzuha must be up there! Quickly, before she flies away into space! Everyone's staring at the satellite. This is my chance to sneak in without being noticed. The shutters are half open, just as they were when I confronted Moeko. I summon my courage and crawl through the crack. When I get inside, the first thing I see is Suzuha's bike lying on the floor.
やはりあいつか。
What is she trying to do? What is that satellite? How is it related to John Tyler? Is it even a satellite? Nobody knows for sure. I checked online. No satellites fell out of orbit that day. When they do, whether by accident or design, they usually burn up in the atmosphere. It's impossible for one to land in such perfect condition. So what is it then? A jolt suddenly runs through my body. Could it be a time machine? There's only one way to know for sure. I need to get there before Suzuha does something. The elevator and escalator aren't operating, so I bound up the stairs two at a time. My lung gasped and my legs burned, but I forced my body to carry me to the top. That's the satellite, lodged in Radican's roof. I noticed wires holding it in place. The police must have done that so it wouldn't fall. There's a hatch open on the side of the machine. I see someone moving it inside.
Suzuha!
The person freezes when I shout. I run to the satellite.
岡部凛太郎
Suzuha turns to me with a sad expression. Behind her, I can see the interior of the satellite. It's surprisingly simple, without the switches and buttons you would expect. Now, Suzuha, be calm. Just because we find out that you are an alien doesn't mean that this will break our friendship. Not in the least. Whether you are an alien, a human, or a dog, we're still friends. We still consider you precious, so don't be scared. Instead, there's a black box the size of a desktop PC. There are numbers on the screen. 2010, 08, 13. And below that, 1975, 03, 13. So are you gonna go back in the past 35 years ago? So reaches out to press a button. Sparks burst from the panel. She jerks back. Her fingertips burned.
何をしている？
動かない
動かし方をしているのか？
She doesn't reply. I see her shoulders sag.
動かないよ
And those sparks had to be from an electrical short. My eyes are burning from the smoke.
答えろ。天音鈴葉。
I saw her heart, then asked the question.
これはタイムマシンだな。お前はタイムトラベラーなのか？
With her head hung low, Suzuha nods.
私がジョン・タイターだよ
Oh my. There's still a big crowd outside, so we exit the building on the side facing away from the station. Suzuha has calmed down a bit, so I start pressing her for answers.
お前がジョン・タイターとはどういうことだ？
そのまんまの意味だよアットチャンネルに書き込んでたジョン・タイターはさ私なの
男だと思っていた。
Suzuha smiles humorously.
まんまと騙されたカムフラージュの意味もあるんだよね
So, this would mean that you are from the future.
何から隠れようとしていた？
セルン
ジョン・タイターとして書き込んだことはもしかして？
そう一部を除いてほとんどが事実
It's those exceptions that bother me.
お前は2036年から来たというのか？あの人工衛星いや タイムマシンに乗って。
本当は正体明かさないままでいようと思ったんだけどさ、よりによってマシンが故障してるなんて完全に私の失策だ。
だがタイターのタイムマシンはシボルエに積まれていたはず。
シボルエ、車だっけ？それどこからの情報
？2000年に現れたタイターが自分でそう言った。
2000年？それもしかすると別の世界線の私かもね。少なくとも私は2000年には行ってない。2036年からまっすぐここに来た。
I mean, maybe not yet. Maybe you will go to 2000. Cause if I'm to think of it, it makes me think of the IBM. Now, I may not have like all the details in mind like correctly because I may be forgetting right over here. I may be doing a mistake over here, but hear me out. I think from what I remember, like the IBM 5100 was at the shrine, and Lukaku's father got that IBM from like many years ago. Would that be 2000? Is it possible that you, Suzuha, at some point got the IBM 5100 and one of your duties was to send it back in time in 2000 and give it to Lukaku's father so that we would use it? Maybe. But that still doesn't answer the question of who stole it in this row line. Where is the IBM 5100? Because if I am to go with my theory that I presented right over here, it cannot be you and it cannot be Moeka either who took the IBM. So who would be able to do that? I'm thinking it's Fares. I cannot put my finger on what the deal is with that girl, but there has to be something with her. So it was someone else. We haven't seen her in quite a while. It's true that Tyler never posted in 2000. Not in the current world line. It doesn't matter. I can worry about that later.
お前は何を知っている？
I pressed Suzuha for answers, trapping her between me and the wall so she can't escape.
さっき俺とクリスの話を聞いていたな。なぜあんなに慌ててタイムマシンに向かった？お前は何をしようとしたんだ？
私のせいかと思って。
何？
ね？
私がここでのんびりしてたせいでセルンの好きにさせちゃったんだ。
Okay. And you're saying that something in that conversation with Kurisu was what made you realize it? Oh, so... Okay, well, I don't know what specifically in the conversation had made you realize that CERN is putting their plan in motion, but that was the moment that you realized that, oh fuck, today is the day when they are gonna put their plan in motion. Is that it? So you were trying to go back in time so that you would be able to use that information so that you would stop CERN much earlier, so that they wouldn't attack today. Is that it?
ねえ、本当なの
Suzuha suddenly grasped my shoulders. It's, well, like, when I say something in that conversation, it basically means she find out that Rintaro apparently had some dealings with CERN today, and he used the timely machine so that he can fix things and not be attacked by CERN. That's what Suzuha found out here.